feel like, you know, honestly, if Fabiano truly believes that, what he should be advocating for is just that we don't play professional chess anymore. That I actually do. I do believe that. Like, if top players really believe that things go to these lengths or this paranoid about them, like, let's just call it. Let's call it a day and close up shop. There we go. Let's put it 150. Let's listen in. What is this? This
is Christian's idea. Yeah, nice. Okay, let's discuss the latest news with Kramnik. As of the date of this recording, he got banned from the chess.com blog platform for expressing his concerns. Some say allegations regarding cheating. You have spoken a lot about this on your podcast. I will not ask you to reiterate everything. I just wanted to ask you, do you believe that it is possible at all to combat cheating, or are we heading to the times where more and more grandmasters stop playing chess online because of all this stuff?
Yeah, this is a very difficult question. So my thoughts on this are kind of constantly evolving because I do think about it a lot. I think about what cheating a lot and what it will mean for chess. It's not my job to, of course, decide to, let's say, cheating measures or to ensure safe play in tournaments. This is the job of organizers, but it's in my interest to ensure safe play. So I talk to organizers as well, and that's why my thoughts are kind of changing. So when it comes to what Kramnik says, I think that he's right on many things, and he's also right in spirit. Like, his concern is valid. I don't think he's right about everything, and I think in the current moment he's going in the wrong direction, because there's more serious examples and more clear examples than what he's going for. He said that Hikaru is 75% cheating. To start with, I don't know what that means. I don't know what 75% cheating is, and I think what he is saying, it comes from a misunderstanding of his statistics, and he's conflating different statistical models. He's looking at the chance that someone will achieve a result in a given series of games, and he's conflating this with the chance that someone's cheating. But these are separate issues. So I think maybe like Grishuk, I watched his, you can call it a lecture, I guess.
No, I mean,
I think he had a...
Okay, here's the problem. You guys are mentioning this. Here are the problems. Okay, there are a couple problems. You can say in spirit that what Kramnik is saying is right. Like, I don't doubt that there are people who are trying to cheat in Title Tuesday, for example. I don't doubt that is happening, but I do not think that number is super high. What Kramnik is doing is just accusing everybody. That's the problem with all of what Kramnik is doing. Like, I think originally what Kramnik was doing is based on coming from a good spot. I do think it is trying to come from a good spot. It's like, why am I doing so poorly online? What's going on? Like, why are all these lower rated players doing so well? But then he went off in a direction that is complete rubbish. That's all that needs to be said. I could obviously use much stronger wording about it, but it's not really necessary. Do I struggle more in Title Tuesday in general compared to other games? I would say if we're talking about Title Tuesday as a whole, ever since Magnus started playing in about, like, I don't know, was it March of last year, April of last year, every top player started playing in Title Tuesdays. So when you look at Title Tuesdays, they have become incredibly difficult to win. I used to actually win Title Tuesdays at a higher clip because most of the players I was playing against were maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 other 2,700 plus players, and most of the guys I played were like 2,600, 2,650. But now the event has become so strong that honestly, I feel like on average, I'm gonna be lucky if I win something like 1 out of 5. If I win something like 20% of Title Tuesdays, I'm going to be very happy with that result on average. So let's keep going.
He had a better idea of like what we should be talking about. In terms of, let's say, what can be done for cheating, I think online is more or less hopeless. Yeah, I don't think that there's a way to do it, to save online chess, to ensure that it's safe.
See, and this is where I disagree actually with Fabiano. See, and this is where I disagree with Fabiano, but even beyond disagreeing with Fabiano, this is where there's one thing that I really do not understand about this. Why does chess.com not have a simple policy that everybody who plays in Title Tuesday for prizes has to have a webcam? This is what I don't understand, and this is the question that really bugs me about the whole thing with Title Tuesday or cheating in general, is that since we're talking about a prize money tournament, why is it that chess.com does not have a basic rule that if you're playing for prizes, you don't have to have a cam? I think that is the biggest issue, straight up, is that they should just have a simple rule. Too resource heavy, maybe. I mean, is it too resource heavy? Like, I would argue that I don't think it is, and the reason I don't think it's too resource heavy is simply because chess.com, if you look at the site, what's happening now, and I mean, I don't know like what the overall temperature is, but if you have all these people who are expressing these concerns and it's potentially eroding confidence in the site, if the confidence is completely eroded and people think that like cheating is unpatrollable or anything's going on like that, at some point you're gonna have this issue where they lack credibility, and I don't think top players are gonna play. Now again, is that the reality? I don't know, because Maxime, for example, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, he made a comment on Fabiano's podcast a while back about this, and yet Maxime is playing every title Tuesday suddenly, and he's been doing phenomenally well. So I'm not sure even where Maxime's mind is at either. So to me, this is the biggest problem, is why is it that all the players are not required to have a webcam? That's what I don't understand. It's easy to use AI for a webcam now. I mean, if you want to say that it is, I find it hard to believe. I find that hard to believe. Maybe it is, I'm sure it's possible somehow, but I just question that. Nepo mentioned anti-cheating software. I mean, I suspect that again, like if we think back to the old days of anti-cheat software, like I believe on the Internet Chess Club they had, since the Internet Chess Club was a software you had to download, I think there was stuff in the software which could show if you're like tabbing out or you're doing all these other different things. On chess.com, of course, it's web-based, so I don't know how that would work. But I do believe that chess.com does see those same things. Now, of course, I could be completely wrong on that, but that is my personal belief that they probably do have that. So the biggest issue to me is why is it that chess.com does not require, I mean, I get that you have like 650, 700 players maybe, so it's difficult, but maybe what you know what I want to say I think the rule should be is that maybe if it's too resource heavy to do 685 people, for example, why can't you just take like the top 20 players of every title Tuesday and for the following event require them to to have a webcam? That's for example, like I don't really understand why they can't do something like that. To me, that's one thing. That's one thing that really bugs me about the whole thing is like, you know, if it's too resource heavy to do everybody, then just have like, let's just say last title Tuesday, this previous one that I played it. Take everybody from the top 20 and next title Tuesday, whenever if they play, require them, or basically send them an email after event, and the next title Tuesday they play, they have to be on a webcam. Like that's what I don't get. Why doesn't chess.com do something like that? That's the biggest like double question mark in my mind, is why does chess.com not do that? It just makes no sense to me. Cameras prevent nothing. The cheaters are clever. I don't believe that. I think if you have one cam maybe, but two cams, I don't believe that. You know what else is pretty funny about the whole thing? Is that if you go back to 2021, when I played Title Tuesdays, there was a period where I was streaming with two cams. And the reason that I streamed with two cams was basically to prove a point suggesting that people should be required to stream Title Tuesday with two cams. So I streamed with two cams when it wasn't required. Nobody had to do it. And what happened? I did it. No one else did it. Didn't matter. So at some point, it's like, why am I doing this if no one's going to take my lead and follow the example that I'm setting? So to me, this is the biggest issue. Why is it that everybody in Title Tuesday, if they finish in top 20, top 30, whatever, why are they not required to be on cam? That's what I don't understand. I just don't get it.
Online chess, basically, you kind of have to run on an honor system, and clearly the honor system is not working. Over the board chess is a more, this is like something that you can actually potentially protect against, but it's very difficult because as technology increases, there are ways to cheat if you have the will, mostly. So again, we're kind of running on an honor system, but there are ways also to combat this. So I'll just give like a short picture of what, let's say, FIDE does. So the first thing is that metal detectors, they only detect metal. So there's ways to, let's say, hide a device which isn't metal.
Yeah.
They use a device which detects basically if there's like something which is conducting an electrical
signal.
It's called a nonlinear junction scanner. So it kind of detects if there's some sort of electrical signal. And this is one device. And then they also use thermal scanning because they're even worried that people are going to implant things under their skin. And if we're talking about what,
and this is where I'll stop for a second as well. I will say though, if chess players are going to be this paranoid, and you think that like people have implants under their skin or things like this, the honest reality is, if you really believe that that's the case, we should all just pack up our bags and go home. And chess should never happen. I mean, professional chess tournaments should never happen again. If you really want to believe that people are going to be doing stuff like implants or otherwise, let's just call it a day, and let's not have any professional chess tournaments with money anymore. I really am just going to say that, because to me, it's very clear that we get to that stage of paranoia where you think people have implants and everything. Like, you've been watching too many spy shows or something, because that's not reality. If you really believe that, then just like, let's just call it a day. Honestly, let's just call it a day, and let's not have professional tournaments ever again. I really do believe that. So let's keep going.
Is actually achieved by technology if you don't do anything. Like, there's ways to connect, let's say, a small computer, which you can actually feed it data yourself on your body. Like, you can kind of transmit data, and people have done this, and then it transmits the moves back to you. So this is actually
fake tooth, like something like
yeah, it could be that. It could be something with just like wires strapped to your leg, for example, and I think there was one player who did that and was caught because at some point the apparatus was discovered. But this was like a one-way system, so he didn't need a second person. And then it basically gives you the best move at the board. So you can be sitting at the board, and you can have a device on you. And of course, when you're in person, like, people can actually check, people can check your body. But when you're at home, like, what is to prevent that? This is why cameras don't matter. I mean, they kind of help a little bit because they weed out the very basic stuff, which is just people
this is where we get to the second issue. He has a point. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. If people really want to believe that this is that people are doing this or it can happen, I'm just going to say, let's call it a day. Let's just call it a day. We just don't have professional chess anymore. Because if you really think that chess players are going to this extreme, or that people are going to take those kinds of risks for their career, like, let's just call it a day. I'm not joking when I say that, because I really do think this is way too far. I mean, I think this is complete paranoia. I do. And you know what's worse about this is the reality about all of this, and this I will say very, very strongly, is all of this stuff is a direct relation to one specific person who has been suspected of cheating in the past. That's all this comes down to. Like, they talk about cases of people being caught. The cases where people were caught were Sebastian Feller and Igor Zrauzis. Those were the two obvious examples. And now it's become this big issue when there have been no examples of people being proven cheating at the top level. So that's the problem of what's going on here. Now, the second part about online as it relates to Title Tuesday, I don't know if Fabiano is going to get to this. If Fabiano is saying this, why is it that when you look at Title Tuesday, you have people at the very top who are well-known top players who are proven finishing up there every week? Magnus is always up there. Maxime is up there. I'm up there. Duda won the last Title Tuesday. Fabiano, I don't know if he's won one recently. I think Aronian won recently. Like, what is he saying? Is he saying that someone's cheating in one game in a Title Tuesday? Like, what is the rationale for that? That's what I don't understand about this, is that if this is what Fabiano is saying, like, he's saying someone is cheating in one game, just to get a rise, just to piss me off or piss Fabiano off or piss Nepo off, and then of course they don't even win prize money. Like, is that really the world we live in? Because that's just so stupid and insane to even suggest. I really do believe that. I just think it's completely insane. Because if you look at it, these so-called people who are like 24, 2500, they're not winning. I mean, I've won 2 this year. Maxime's won 2 this year. Magnus, I don't know if he's won. I think Dudon won the last one. I think Aronian won one of them also. Like, that's the thing. Like, what is the point? What is he actually saying here? I mean, is he saying that basically in Title Tuesday someone cheats in one game against him basically to get a rise out of him, and then they suddenly just go back to playing normally? That's what doesn't make sense, because if someone were going to cheat in Title Tuesday, they would cheat to win. Duh. So let's keep going.
No cameras, people just start checking their phone potentially. But cameras can't protect against that. They can't protect against an earpiece with a second person. You can't check someone's ears on camera. You just won't. I mean, first of all, they're hidden earpieces. You can't see it. And
what Fabiano is also saying here very clearly is he's saying that basically this is actually this feels like a real shot at chess.com, because Fabiano has played in the Chess Champions Tour, and he knows as well as I do that when you play in the Champions Chess Tour, you have to show your ears to the proctors. They ask you to show both of your ears. You have to put your ear right up to the device so they can see your ears. So he's essentially saying then that basically, even though we have to show our ears, that it's complete nonsense and it doesn't work. That's what he's saying essentially, which is very, very serious actually. And I wonder if chess.com is going to respond to what Fabiano is saying, because he knows as well as I do that when we play the Champions Chess Tour, we have to basically show our ears. They literally say show your left ear, show your right ear, show your screen, show your task manager, etc., etc., etc. All right, so let's keep going.
In Norway chess, for example, there was a doctor who was actually checking our ears with an instrument.
Wow.
Only once. They only did this once during the tournament, but it was, forget it, during the game or before the game, they checked our ears with, like this doctor's, I don't forget what it's called exactly.
Stethoscope. Something.
It was at least.
Stethoscope is when they check your.
No, it was at least once around, but I think it was actually more. I think it was twice. Was it beginning and after? I'm not sure, but yeah, this was pretty standard.
Your heartbeat, yeah.
But
I forget. This device, and so yeah, you can have hidden earpieces with the second person. And the problem with like over the board is you can't jam signals. I think in most countries, most places, it's not legal to do this. I think they did this during the 2006 World Championship between Kramnik and Topal. They actually jammed the signal because they were in Elista, and I guess Kirsan was president, and they had carte blanche to do what they want. But so yeah, online chess, it's like I don't know what that person is doing. Even if you have a proctor there, which is probably the safest option, to actually have an arbiter go to someone's home, also the most expensive option, you still can't protect against things. Because first of all, you have to trust the arbiter that they actually do a good job. And I had some experience with proctors who were kind of careless. Like I once played a tournament, Fischer Random World Championship 2019. It started online. In Spain, a Spanish arbiter came, and basically he was like the biggest fan. So I actually had to ask him, like, do you want to see this? Do you want to check this? Because, like, I read the regulations. You should check the bathroom. You should inspect it. He was like, no, it's fine.
I trust you.
Yeah, no, basically, yeah. So this is one issue. The other issue is that, again, if you have, like, some sort of sophisticated apparatus, is a proctor really going to know how to search for this? Yeah, and then if we actually get into, like...
this also, like, this sounds... I mean, I have a lot of respect for Fabiano, but honestly, this sounds pretty far too. Like, I remember this very well also because I lost to Fabiano in this 2019 Fischer Random event online. I remember I beat Wesley, but in the top bracket, they hadn't perfected the double elimination yet. So I think I beat Wesley, but Wesley went to the loser's bracket and he went forward. When I lost to Fabiano, I didn't go down to the loser's bracket. I was just eliminated. Of course, Wesley went on to win the online event. He went on to beat Magnus in the grand final over the board. But like when I played it, for example, the arbiter was there. Like he was literally basically right next to me when I was playing. I remember this because I was playing from the from I think City Hall actually here in Florida. So I was playing from like the City Hall area because the internet was very good and my home internet used to be pretty terrible. So the arbiter was present, but he's saying the arbiter wasn't checking, and I do think that is actually a big issue potentially if the arbiter is not being serious about it.
Really high-tech stuff, which I don't know if anyone's ever done. Yeah, I mean, if FIDE is worrying about like...
But also, I think that if you're in the same room, like you're literally sitting right next to the player, like you're gonna tell me that like, I mean, unless you're sitting there reading a book or something and you're literally not paying any attention at all, I just don't believe that someone's gonna be able to cheat. I just don't believe that without you noticing. I find that really hard to believe.
Devices under the skin. You can never protect against
implants.
Okay, that's what we're done now. If we have like some Elon Musk moment, then yeah, we're completely done in terms of protecting against cheating. But that's my current stance on like how to protect against it. And in terms of suspicions,
I just don't believe this. I don't believe this. Like under the skin implants, seriously. I mean, seriously, like I'm sorry, but that sounds completely insane to me. That sounds completely insane.
That the problem is that he's going in the wrong direction in terms of what to suspect. But it's clear that in general, let's take Title Tuesday, a tournament where there's mostly no cameras, although the website can ask and does ask people to go on camera if they feel like it's necessary. But if they feel it's necessary, perhaps this damage has already been done, like someone has already been cheating. And then they can stop cheating, but they already kind of damaged the tournament. They lifted their results up. They lowered the results of someone else. The amount of money which has been stolen, I think, is not insignificant. This is why I can't really name names because it's actually like serious accusations, because there are people who have won hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm sure that not all of them are clean. Like really sure.
This is
okay.
really
So who's won hundreds of thousands of dollars? Like, is Fabiano saying what I think he's implying? I mean, seriously? I don't think I've even won I don't think I've even won $100,000 from Title Tuesday. Literally, I've won what? I won 46. Like, I don't think even I've ever won 100,000. So, like, what is he saying? Like, I mean, what is he saying? Like, I mean, I've won the most, and I haven't won $100,000 from Title Tuesday. So, what is he actually saying here? Yeah, this is very, very strange. I mean, is he trying to imply me? Like, seriously? I haven't even won 100,000. But then but if I've won the most by far, then who else is he saying? Because nobody else has won anywhere near enough. Like, that's the thing. Like, he's saying hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, what does he mean by that? And again, like, you think he's not just talking about Title Tuesday? Well, he just said in Title Tuesday, he said hundreds of thousands of dollars have been stolen in Title Tuesday. That's what he said. He said hundreds of thousands okay, let's go back 10 seconds. Let me listen.
I'm sure that not all of them are clean.
Let's go back.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Serious accusations, because there are people who have won hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm sure that not all of them are clean.
So then what is he saying? Like, people who've won hundreds of thousands of dollars, like, the number of people who won hundreds of thousands of dollars are literally probably myself, Magnus, Wesley, and who else? I mean, who else? Like literally, who else is there? Like, I mean, what is he saying? Turn on the closed captions? No, I mean, but I'm saying, who is he saying? I mean, Fabiano also crushed the Chess Champions Tour last year. I mean, it's very limited. Who's won hundreds of thousands? Like literally. Like, you're literally talking like 5 people. But I don't know. I mean, whatever. I have no idea what exactly he's saying. He means all the trophies combined. Again, what is he saying? I mean, I'll obviously ask him next time I see him, because we're on very good terms. But definitely the point, though, the problem with this whole thing, though, ultimately, is when he's talking about this, why is it that the top players are finishing at the top of Title Tuesday? I mean, why is that? Why are the top players finishing at the top of Title Tuesday if there's cheating going on? So no subtitles. Okay, I'll take the subtitles off. I'm trying to listen. Let's keep going.
Like really sure.
This is really frightening.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about like real theft when it comes to online chess. But it's really rampant in these online events. With cameras, it's less rampant, but we don't know how much.
Which is why you stopped playing. Angel, I mean, like, I've heard a couple people talk about, like, Zhang, Angel, and others. I mean, again, what I always say to this is, like, A, where is the proof? And B, like, are they really just cheating? Are they really just cheating in one-off games? I mean, I just don't buy it. It's very hard to believe that. Why isn't Nico winning Arena Kings every day? Because sometimes he just wants to mess up a day. So yeah, but sniping is different than sniping is completely different than saying that sniping is completely different than like Title Tuesday. But I don't know, too many vague accusations, no substance. Well, this is the problem. Like what is he actually saying at the end of the day? What is he saying?
Title Tuesdays.
I didn't stop. I mean, the thing is, I take it kind of not as a tournament to like win anymore, but just to get some games in.
Okay.
Sometimes I get frustrated and I leave midway. I haven't won one in like very long time. I more or less average that I play like 2 cheaters per tournament. That's more or less the average that I'm quite sure about.
This is crazy.
So Fabiano, okay, so here's the big statement. So this must be the statement. So Fabiano is basically saying that he's saying on average that in Title Tuesday he plays 2 cheaters. Now, this seems crazy to me. This does seem crazy. Like, honestly, like looking at the Title Tuesdays, I mean, I could see you saying in a world maybe playing 1, playing 2. Like, I mean, what is he really saying? I mean, so what is he saying though? Like what is he saying? I mean, is he saying that like what is the rationale behind what he's saying? Is he saying that like people are cheating in one game just to ruin his tournament? Is that what he's saying? I mean, is he saying that people are cheating just to ruin his tournament, get a rise out of him, whatever? Or like what is the point? I don't understand it. because if someone's cheating against him, they're gonna cheat against him to win the tournament. That's the thing. Like, they're gonna cheat against him to win the tournament. People are not going to cheat in one-off games just to ruin your day in Title Tuesday, because chess.com there's probably a pretty good chance that chess.com is going to catch them. I think 1 out of 11 is probably high, but it's I could actually see that in some world, but 2 out of 11 I think is way too high. Jospin, I mean, I have no idea about Jospin or what he's doing. I mean, I know Kramnik said something about him. Like I always say, show me the proof. I mean, I could see it being 1. I mean, I feel like if I think back to the old days, like I remember in the old days, and this actually speaks to one of Fabiano's points, which I kind of agree with, which is that in the old days, if you go back maybe like 6 to 12 months, I feel like if I was doing very poorly in a tournament, let's say I had like 2 losses early, or like I dropped like 2.5 points, I would get paired against someone very, very low rated, and I would get blown off the board. So like that's one example of something where like I understand that's a rationale where someone might cheat in order to ruin your day after you've lost a couple of games, you're in a very bad mood and whatnot. Like I remember Maxime, I think like maybe 2-3 years ago, he played a Title Tuesday. I think he lost 2 games early. He played a girl who's like 2100 or something. He got blown away, and I mean it's pretty obvious what happened there. But like that's only if you're way down in the standings.
That's people think of something, maybe some complex AI detection system, even though they will invent AI avoidance system for this detection system. After this is like cat and mouse.
I think this is like maybe AI will improve to an extent that it can tell, but I'm not sure if this will ever be reached.
Maybe when we have the singularity.
Maybe there's some computer scientists.
We can take a look at the last Title Tuesday. What was the last Title Tuesday that that Fabiano played? Let's see. Let's go to chess.com. Let's see, Title Tuesday. Let's see, Title Tuesday. Let me pull it up. What was the last one that he played? Did he played this last one, right? This last one, which yesterday, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Did he? Yeah, he played this last one. So Fabiano, let's see, this is the last Title Tuesday. Fabiano played. He scored 8.5, 8.5 in this event. I also scored 8.5. Let's see. So Fabiano played against 2400 or 240. He won. He played another person never heard of. He won against Akobian of Verusian Akobian from St. Louis. Okay, he's a known player. Fontvella. I think that's Fontvella is Ivic, I think, from Serbia, known player. He played Maxime. Okay, he played Maxime. He played Serrana. He played Aram Hakobian. He played Gandivam, which is Arjun, and he played JS 2000. I don't know who that is. And he played against Polish fighter, which is Jan Krzysztof Duda. So Fabiano is saying, I mean, is he saying, like, when he says 2, is he saying that people in the first couple of rounds are like they cheated and lost, or is he saying that basically out of Akobian, Maxime Vachilev, Eve, I think, let me check, Fontvella, let me search, Fontvella 8, I think that's Ivic, but I could be wrong. Fontvella 8, oh no, Fontvella 8, sorry, someone else, it's Daniel Garcia Ramos, wrong person. So he's basically saying, so some IM, who he beat, right? And then we have, okay, so he's saying, basically saying out of these players, Akobian, Garcia Ramos, Maxime Vachilev, Alexei Serrana, Aram Hakobian, Arjun Erigaisi, JS, I don't know who JS is, JS, Jan Krzysztof Duda, or Benjamin Bach. So he's saying 2, he's basically saying that 2 out of 11 players potentially, if he's saying 2 on average are cheating, he's saying that 2 out of 11 did. I mean, he's really saying that? Like, it's crazy. I mean, and I know, like, he of course the previous week he lost this game, which I covered, to some random IM, which he lost in like round 2 or round 3. No, this is Title Tuesday, you guys. This was the Title Tuesday last night, which Fabiano played in. The winners, of course, were Jan Krzysztof Duda, Aram Hakobian, and David Pravi. Now, Kramnik obviously, I think, put stats out, I think, on both these guys, if I'm not mistaken, recently, but, you know, whatever. So I mean, is that what he's saying? Like, I mean, what is he really saying here? Like, it's very hard to believe. Like, if you say 1, I could see that, but 2, that sounds a little bit far, in my opinion. Just a little bit far. Thank you so much to Darce for 25. Like, I could see, like, Fabiano, he sometimes loses the game early, he plays someone random. Like, I could see someone just trying to ruin his day, but maybe he's referring to other earlier Title Tuesdays. It's possible, definitely possible. It was 1 in every Title Tuesdays before, since more attention was given to top. I think it's dropped at most 1 and 3 title twos. Oh, did he say more? Did he say more about it? I don't know.
AGI will solve this.
Yeah, could happen, of course.
Okay, let's leave it at that. But
that's
as a final treat to the audience, let's play a Blitz game. You mentioned you give timeouts to even grandmasters. I'm just a candidate master, so 1 minute against 5 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Okay.
The interview is from Samarkand last year. Yeah. White cheaters don't get exposed by everyone like other sports to sway them. I actually think what should happen is I think this notion of not exposing them is a big mistake. I think it should be public. I do believe that, actually. I do. Oh wait, the arena just ended. I do think that should be made public. But again, it's a problem because like if you make it public, you could get sued. I think that's the thing. Like, you know, if you make it public, you could get sued, because I'm assuming, like, I don't know what exactly chess.com has said, but I think it's something like 99.99%, something like that. Actually, my alarm's going off. My stupid security on. 1 second. Yeah, and if you get sued, you have to prove it and thus reveal your anti-cheat algorithm. So yeah, I mean, the whole thing is very difficult. Scared of lawsuits is ridiculous. You can say that, but I mean, at the end of the day, you have to pay legal fees. Like, it's not a joke. I mean, you can say that, but it's not a joke. Who would sue over cheating allegations? I wonder who would. Anyway, yeah. So that's the bottom line. I mean, I think it's a tough topic. I feel like it's a little bit on the edgy side. I feel like, you know, honestly, if Fabiano truly believes that, what he should be advocating for is just that we don't play professional chess anymore. That I actually do. I do believe that. Like, if top players really believe that things go to these lengths or this paranoid about them, like, let's just call it a day and close up shop. Let's just close shop altogether. That's how I feel about it. Because I'm very, very skeptical about it. Because if that were true, you would have like random IMs winning Title Tuesday. Like, you would not have top players winning Title Tuesday. That's how I feel. And I mean, let's take a look, actually, because I do have Title Tuesday. Where's Title Tuesday? Here we go, Title Tuesday. Okay, let's take a look at Title Tuesday. Let me go back. Okay, let's take a look. Let's go back to October 31st. Let's see the winner. The winner was Buddy Pranav. Very, very strong player. Close to 2,600. Well known. Okay, so Buddy Pranav wins. Magnus Carlsen wins. Magnus wins. Jeffrey Andrekin. Like, it's a who's who of the top three. Okay, next up, what do we have? Magnus, Nihal Sarin, Ali Reza Firouzja. Again, it's a who's who finished in the top three. Next one, you have Hikaru. You have Bilodeau, that's not Shevchenko. That is who is that? Bilodeau is Alexienko, right, from Russia. And you have Hans on Twitch. Okay, so again, a who's who. Next up, we have, oh wait, that's the one I just did, November 14th. Okay, next one, what do we have? We have Gandivan. We have Arjun Erigaisi. We have Amin from Iran, and we have Parham from Iran. Again, household names that everybody knows. Okay, so that was the late one. Next one, you have Magnus, Parham, Laquan. Again, a who's who. What's next? This was early Title Tuesday, November 21st. Late Title Tuesday, Laquan, Magnus, Arjun. Again, like, this is the thing. You're looking at these top players, and it's crazy how strong this event has become. Then you have Grishuk, Jose Martinez, Alcantara. And then you have Alexander, who's this? Alexander Donchenko, who I think is currently playing in Tata Steel. Okay, so Donchenko, not a household name, but he's playing very well in Tata Steel. You have Jose Martinez, who's been great. Obviously, Kramnik has his views about Jose, but like I've said before, you know, show it to me. Next up, we have, what do we have? We have Hikaru, Jeffrey Jean, Alexander Bortnik. Now, Kramnik, I think, believes that Bortnik's not as good as he is. I actually have played Bortnik. I got steamed today when I wasn't at my best. So, again, I mean, what's going on? Like, what are they saying exactly? Are you saying Jeffrey? Are you saying Bortnik? I don't. Again, show it to me. But let's think about it. So, if we look at this as two Title Tuesdays, where, like, I mean, you could say, well, it's not the who's who that finished. Late Title Tuesday, November 28th. Okay, so we go forward, December 5th. What do we have? Levon Aronian, Dmitry Andreikin, Alexander Shimanov, all people who are very, I mean, maybe Shimanov's not a household name, but a player who's been like 2660, 2670, played the World Cup, had some great results. He's also a very strong blitz player. I played him in the World Blitz and Rapid, I think in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So that's December 5th. Okay. Then the late Title Tuesday, Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru, Jeffrey Jean. Okay. What else? December 5th. Let's keep going. December 12th. You have Jose Martinez here. You have Min Lei, and you have Andreykin. Again, I've played these guys a lot online. This is one where actually you see the top 2 players or players who over the board have not had great results. Again, as I say, like, you know, what are you saying? I mean, it's possible that's what he's saying. Like, but it's still very, very few. You're talking like 3 to 4 players who are finishing up there. You have Magnus, myself, Kovalev, very strong player. Kovalev, pretty standard. I think that was December 19th early. Late title Tuesday, Hikaru, Bojan, Hans on Twitch. Okay. Moving forward, December 26th, you have Hikaru, Jose Martinez Alcantara, GM Wesley So. All right. Late title Tuesday, December 26th, MSB2, Jospin, H4 Pro. This is like the first one that I've seen where it's like you see name. I've never even heard of this. Who is this? Oh, this is Santos. Okay, good player who's playing the B group and Tata Steel. You have Bluebaum, Jose Martinez Alcantara, and Santos Latasa. Okay, so there are like 2 or 3 that we've seen that you could say like it's not the absolute household names that have won. Okay, moving forward, January 2nd, you have Maxime, you have Magnus Carlsen, Shakran Mamedyarov. They all need no introduction. Next, you have the late one, Hikaru, Serrana, Fabiano Caruana. 2 on average, but he finishes 3rd. So that's January 2nd. January 9th, we have Iturrizaga, Min Lei, Vincent Keimer. Okay, Iturrizaga, well-known. Vincent Keimer, well-known. Min Lei, again, in online circles, well-known. Next up, we have the evening one. You have Dubov, Sevian, Nepo. Again, I mean, Sevian, maybe not a household name, but a player who's performed very, very well. So, moving forward, January 16th, we have Maxime, Jose Martinez Alcantara, and Big Fish 1995, which of course is Vladimir Fedoseev. So pretty standard. Late title Tuesday, you have Mashanik, Levon Aronian, and Gandivam. Again, Serrana, Aronian, Arjun, very, very impressive stuff. And then you have Hikaru, Wesley, Fedoseev, pretty standard. And then in the last one, you have, I think, Fabian didn't finish. You have Duda, you have Aram Hakobian, and you have David Providence. So you're looking at about like 4.5 to 5 months of event. Maybe not 4.5 because it's October 31st. You're looking at basically November, December. You're looking at nearly 3 months, and there aren't many fields where you don't have the top players finishing up there. So again, we'll see. I mean, the main thing that I wish chess.com would do is what I said before, which I wish chess.com would basically require that players have to you have to be on cam to have any chance of any chance of a winning prize. And I feel like they should probably just do, they should basically top 20. If you finish top 20, you should have to be on camera streaming, bottom line. And I myself, as I said, like, it's funny that, you know, like Kramnik goes after me when, like, I'm one of the people who's been advocating for 2 cams. Like in 2021, I advocated for 2 cams. I just said, like, people should have to play with 2 cams for Title Tuesday. Of course, I did it for a couple months. Nobody followed my lead, and so if nobody's going to do it, then, you know, why am I doing this in the first place? If nobody's going to take it seriously. So, will I advocate again? Why should I? Like, I already did it. Nobody seems to care, and yet they make all these accusations. Like, if you actually want to be serious, then yes, other top players can advocate for it as well. Just advocate for 2 cams. That's the bottom line. I don't need to prove anything. I actually don't need to prove anything. That's the bottom line. So yeah, it's very disappointing, obviously, as far as Kramnik goes, because he's gone and literally accused everyone under the sun. Now it's like anything he says isn't taken seriously, whereas I think there is a chance he will find someone in the midst of all this madness who might be cheating. I do think there's a chance, but again, he's gone off the deep end, just accusing everybody, and it's an impossible situation. So that's just how it goes. But ultimately, I am a little bit surprised saying 2 on average, because I mean, I find that really hard to believe, because I feel like the motivations, the only reason someone's going to cheat is, I guess, if you've lost a couple games, they want to ruin your day potentially. Of course, they risk getting caught, or secondarily, to win prizes. So that's the thing. Like, I mean, you're looking at the who's who up here. I mean, is he saying that someone in these top 3, top 5, or something's going on? I mean, look at top 5: Firouzja, Bogdan, Dayak. I mean, these are all people who are very, very well-known quantities over 2,700. Like, Dayak is an amazing junior player. Firouzja, obviously, we know who he is. So, yeah, I don't know. Not really sure, but I do worry that I worry because chess.com obviously not responding to this. And I mean, if they don't, like, I said it before, the reality should be, if you want to win prize money, you have to be on cam. full stop, end of story. You have to be on cam. So that's what I would say. If your thoughts, if you had to bet, are any top players cheating? You mean like top players? I'm very skeptical. Do I think players over 2,600 could be? I think there's definitely a chance. I mean, I think it's actually, statistically speaking, probably likely, but are they finishing in the money? Are they not finishing in the money? I mean, yeah, it's, yeah. Maybe you want to say hundreds of dollars, not hundreds of thousands, probably, who knows? But yeah, I mean, it's something that I don't know. And I do worry because you have Kramnik saying this, you have Dubov saying this, now you have Fabiano saying this. And I mean, ultimately, the thing is, if this is the true belief of the players, I really do think we should just fold up shop and go home. I do believe that. Because if we get to the point where you think people have stuff like implanted under the skin, I'm just like not a believer. So anyway, he wanted to say hundreds of dollars, not 100K. Yeah, I mean, again, who knows? I mean, obviously, see if chess.com says anything, but I don't know. I feel like there's some level of paranoia, and I'm also going to say one other thing, and this is a prediction that I'm going to say. My prediction on this is that I bet that within the next 5 years or 6 years, you're going to see some of these kids right now who are online, like whether they have this rating of 2,000, like the guy who was just beating Nepo out of the opening in the World Rapid, or you have kids like this Turkish kid. I'm betting you're going to see some of these kids in the next 5 years playing in the top events in Rapid and Blitz and competing with the absolute best players in the world. And if they are not up there, then that's actually going to make me very, 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 very suspicious in the long run. But I do expect that to happen because I do think that people are improving much quicker. You have kids who are 8 years old who are beating GMs left and right. And I do think the world is changing ultimately. So, we'll just have to wait and see what the reality is. I mean, I don't have, I obviously don't have the crystal ball, so I don't know what the reality is going to be, but that's my personal takes. I think a lot of these kids are going to become incredibly strong. I do believe that. And we'll see if that's the world. We'll see if that's the world that we live in. I mean, I don't know if it's the world we live in, but that's my general takeaway. 10-year-old GM possible. I mean, based on how good these kids are at 8, I don't think we'll get to 10. I don't think we'll get to GM at 10, but I think probably 11 years old. That's my guess. I could see that at 11 years old potentially, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be. Yeah, I just don't think so. Yeah. Anyway, but Andregan is 10,350. Ferrugia has 10,250. Sarin has 8,000. Yeah, I mean, I think the kids are coming. I do believe that very firmly. That's my belief. But again, we'll see what the future holds. But I mean, I really do worry that at some point, if we're going this direction, that online chess could very easily die. On the other hand, I would make the argument that if you look at chess, whether it's online or over the board, all the top players complain about things left and right. For example, Fabiano was complaining left and right about the World Rapid and Blitz being held in Uzbekistan. And then push comes to shove, he complains, says, nah, it's too expensive, I don't want to go. They don't listen to him, they don't change the location, and he plays anyway. So it's like you're complaining about it and saying it's an honor system, you don't trust it, but then you're also always playing online. So it's kind of a thing where I don't know if chess players ultimately, despite their complaints, are going to suddenly stop playing online, because at the end of the day, they all need to make money. That is the reality. So it's very, very tricky to know what the reality is going to be. If they say things and do the opposite, yeah. And also, I mean, it's easy to complain and not offer solutions. Yeah, I mean, my simple stand is that basically I think if we're being really strict about it, everybody should have to play on 2 cams if you're playing for prize money. And I don't think you can do 700 people completely. I think 700 people, it's too much probably for them, but I think you just take the top 20 every week, and you basically after it ends, you send them an email and say you have to play on 2 cam setup in the next Title Tuesday you play it. And for every Title Tuesday, just keep doing it, keep cycling it where it has to be top 2. That's my general takeaway. I don't know why that's not instituted at this point. I really don't. Because what about third cam for the ceiling? Yeah, exactly. Thank you. But that's my general takeaway, and I don't know why they don't do that. I do believe labor is expensive for 20 player. I mean, you really can't. I mean, I don't know. If I were monitoring, I'd be paying a lot of attention. You have 3 or 4 people every Title Tuesday. That's Title Tuesday is just a short event. It's 2 hours. It's 2.5 hours max. I mean, if you have 20 people in one Zoom call, I feel like you can probably monitor that. I do, because you basically should have people only monitoring them, and you have your separate team or whatever that are looking at the actual games. So I don't know. I don't know, but that's like that would be what I would suggest. 2 cams, top 20 next week. You must be on cam, and maybe even you go beyond that. You say you're in top, like maybe you say top 20 up until you have like 100 people in the Zoom call or something. And I mean, sure, you have to have more proctors, but maybe you do something like that. I don't know what the solution is, but something along those lines. So I feel like if that happens and people play worse on cam, chess.com has to have these algorithms or stats they're using, and surely something is going to show up, is what I would think. I mean, you think about how many games are played on the site, how many games have been played in Title Tuesday. I'm sure that they keep track of all of those stats over and over and over again. So that's my that's the gist of what I think. Anyway, let's move on, you guys. I think we're gonna watch the Master Shelf. Let's do one episode.